It's just another tough fight for either one.
He's got a better chance to be very competitive in this Inoue because he doesn't throw reckless punches and too many punches, where he gives Inoue a lesser chance to catch him.
He can be vulnerable, he can be hurt, he can be put down, and MJ's a big puncher. I don't think you can judge much off of the performance of last week from MJ because it was sort of cautious, and he was just going in there to get the win.
Boxing insiders are backing Murodjon Akhmadaliev as a real threat to Naoya Inoue. Teddy Atlas pointed out that MJ isn't just powerful, he's smart and disciplined, never wasting punches. Instead of swinging wildly, he picks his shots with deadly accuracy, which makes it harder for Inoue to find openings. His southpaw stance, sharp fundamentals, and ring maturity give him a serious chance to shock the Japanese star. Analysts believe if Inoue dares to overlook him, Akhmadaliev's skill, speed, and calmness could be the exact recipe to give Inoue the toughest fight of his career. And yes, he's a southpaw.
He's a southpaw. He's a good puncher. He doesn't waste anything. He's very deliberate in his approach. He slowly, takes the air out of the room by carefully putting pressure on. He's not reckless. He's got good legs. He controls range really well, going in and out, changing range. That helps him defensively. It helps him offensively. He does that like Lomachenko did it. Not as good as Lomachenko. I don't know if anybody does legs as good as Lomachenko at his best did. And Lomachenko was better because he not only went in and out, he went to the sides. He went in, out, side, in. I mean, he was a magician with his legs. He was a ballet artist with his legs. But MJ uses them well. He doesn't waste anything. As my son said, he's got good eyes. He places punches really accurately, especially to the body. He throws a beautiful left uppercut to the liver. Beautiful, from the southpaw position. Usually you see that punch from the orthodox position with the conventional left hook to the liver. He does it with a left uppercut to the liver. He gets range. He delivers it, again, very accurately, flawlessly. He is a serious guy. He's not the busiest guy in the world, but that makes him a problem too. I kind of laughed. One of the commentators, I don't know who the guy was, but the blow-by-blow guy, I had to laugh when he said, "Oh, hey, this will never work against Inoue." What are you talking about? Why? He's got to throw more punches for you to give him a chance against Inoue? Where did you get your boxing diploma from? What school was that? I'd like to know. So he's going to have a better chance, in your estimation, to beat Inoue because he should be throwing a lot more punches.
Joel Diaz insists that Murodjon Akhmadaliev is a standout force in the super bantamweight division. As a southpaw, MJ brings awkward angles and movements that frustrate orthodox fighters. Diaz highlights his rare mix of speed and strength, stressing that his punches land with accuracy and impact, not just raw force. His footwork lets him control distance, spin out of danger, and create openings from tricky angles. Diaz made it clear, facing Akhmadaliev is no simple task. His unique stance, measured aggression, and athleticism demand serious preparation. Against Naoya Inoue, Diaz believes those traits could flip what people call a mismatch into one of the toughest tests of Inoue's career. Fans should expect Inoue to either adapt or get completely outmaneuvered.
Well, we just talked about you did save Cinco de Mayo boxing. Congratulations. Now that you know Inoue from Cardenas, you have MJ, who's next. Is that going to be here or is it going to be Tokyo? Do you know?
They talked about Tokyo. I think it's going to be over there.
I think it's more electric here because we can go. But now...
I wish it was here.
I know. With what you learned and with Cardenas learned, is it going to be easier to be able to train MJ, or do you think Inoue is going to come in differently?
Well, it's a different style. It's a different fighter. Cardenas is a right-hander. MJ is lefty. Their both styles are different.
Thank you so much.
It's just another tough fight for either one. I mean, MJ is tough. He's strong. He's disciplined. He has great timing. He has better footwork. Cardenas, don't get me wrong. Cardenas is very, very smart with his defense, on avoiding getting hit. But I mean, I don't think it's going to be easy for either or.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be an easy task, even though I share the ring with Inoue already. It's not, because Inoue is very smart. He's very athletic, you know, and I mean, his timing, his volume is overwhelming.
Analysts warn that if Naoya Inoue treats Murodjon Akhmadaliev like an easy tune-up, it could be the biggest mistake of his career. This isn't about questioning Inoue's talent. His skill is unquestionable. It's about mindset and focus. Experts stress a dangerous edge. Akhmadaliev is trained by Joel Diaz, who knows Inoue's habits, strengths, and weaknesses inside out. That shared history could be the key. Analysts argue it's the single biggest X factor in the fight. Inoue must stay sharp, avoid arrogance, and treat MJ like a serious, well-prepared threat or risk paying daily.
Naoya Inoue admitted that MJ Akhmadaliev may possibly be his strongest opponent yet, and that there's no shame in admitting that his plan is to stay vigilant and be extra cautious. Inoue, who's known to always pretty much win via knockout, admitted that for this fight, it's okay to win via decision, suggesting that being reckless and letting his guard down is definitely a big no-no, especially considering that Akhmadaliev's trainer is the same guy who trained Ramon Cardenas, the fighter who fought and scored a knockdown against Inoue this past Cinco de Mayo. Once again, this fight will be for the undisputed junior featherweight title, and if Inoue wins, he's expected to fight again on December 27th and will be headlining a Japan versus Mexico card in Saudi Arabia. Now, this will mark Inoue's official Riyadh season debut in the Middle East, as well as the last fight for Inoue before he and fellow Japanese pound-for-pound Junto Nakatani meet early next year.
Teddy Atlas praised Akhmadaliev as one of the fastest and strongest fighters at 122. He explained MJ doesn't waste punches or throw sloppy combinations. Every shot is calculated for maximum damage. That kind of discipline, Atlas said, is exactly why it's dangerous for Inoue. By avoiding reckless brawls and focusing on precision, MJ lowers the risk of getting clipped and boosts his chances of pulling off an upset.
Where he gives Inoue a lesser chance to catch him as he's throwing those punches.
And he's a southpaw.
Yeah, and he's a southpaw. He's very select with what he throws. And when he throws, it's accurate. It's at the right place, at the right time, in the right position. He's not throwing, like you say, more punches where he might throw from too far away or too many in one spot, where Inoue, who's great at timing guys, would time him in between a fourth punch. Inoue won't have that opportunity because this guy is selective. He is smart. He is calculating. That's what gives him a chance. That's the opposite of what whoever he was. The opposite. That's what gives him a chance for me.
Eddie Hearn stirred controversy when he claimed Naoya Inoue ducked a showdown with Murodjon Akhmadaliev. According to Hearn, Inoue knew MJ was the most complete and dangerous fighter in the division, but the fight never happened until now. Hearn said MJ was always the high-risk, low-reward opponent the stars didn't want. By framing it as Inoue deliberately dodging him, Hearn pushed the narrative that this fight is long overdue. His comments painted Akhmadaliev as a guy champions quietly avoided while pretending to chase greatness.
Inoue is straight ducking MJ Akhmadaliev. He's been ordered to fight him twice, right? He's had 2 gimme fights now instead of fighting Akhmadaliev. And now, well, tomorrow, no, Monday, the WBA will write to Naoya Inoue and they will say, enough's enough. You have to fight Akhmadaliev next, or you will be stripped of your WBA world title. He has ducked Akhmadaliev twice after an order. Now he's getting ordered for a 3rd time, and he will give up his right as undisputed champion rather than make a mandatory defense against Akhmadaliev. What? Tell me a better fight at 122 than Inoue against Akhmadaliev. It doesn't exist. So you're ducking the best fight in the division. And I can't understand it. Like, and I don't even think, it's just coming from the team. They don't like the fight.
Gareth A. Davies fired back at Hearn's claim, asking bluntly, who is Akhmadaliev that Inoue would need to duck him? Davies pointed out that while MJ is respected by hardcore fans, his name barely registers outside the boxing bubble. Inoue, on the other hand, is already a global superstar, an undisputed champion who's beaten elite names and built a massive following. From that angle, the idea of Inoue dodging a less-known fighter looks absurd. Davies stressed Inoue doesn't need to prove himself to anyone. His resume already speaks volumes. To him, Inoue facing MJ isn't about silencing critics. It's just another dangerous box to tick off. This clash of narratives, her hyping avoidance, Davies calling it nonsense, shows how boxing promotion plays both sides.
Akhmadaliev, who is Akhmadaliev? I know he's very seasoned and he's a brilliant fighter and very dangerous, but who is he?
At this stage of Naoya Inoue's career, exactly that question, Gareth. Who is he?
Naoya Inoue is number 2 pound for pound in the world,
Mate,
isn't he? Or 2 or 3.
For the people that may not know Naoya Inoue, he's in the top 3 pound for pound. He's a 4-weight, 4-division world champion, 2-weight, 2-division, undisputed champion. Naoya Inoue, I'll tell you where he goes next. He's been light fly, super fly, bantam, super bantam. You know, he's gone through the divisions, winning world titles and getting undisputed, etc. Where does he go next? He moves up. He's just signed with Riyadh season.
Yep.
The fight was there. It was a brilliant performance against Kim. Just showed his class, absolutely dominated and absolutely iced him.
Don't call him on, I say, because Kim made a massive mistake, didn't
Kim
he?
called him on, and the body shot was crippling, and then he landed a big right hand. The fight was over, but it was calculated. It was meticulous in that finish. It was brilliant.
This guy is a modern great. He's called a monster because I think it's 26 knockouts from 29 fights now. He is so destructive. He's come up through the weight divisions, as you say, 4 weight divisions, not just winning world titles, but dominating the best in the divisions. He's stepping up to a 5th weight division. He's got the credence and the belief of Turki Al-Sheikh now, who wants him to fight. Who did he mention? Nick Ball. And this is a fight we've been pushing for. I've been talking about it for a year. Stylistically, Ball is a squat, powerful pocket rocket who comes at you all night.
Trainer Joel Diaz doubled down on MJ's pedigree, saying is far bigger and more complete than Ramon Cardenas, the man who already gave Inoue headaches and even scored a win. Diaz argued if Cardenas could trouble Inoue, then Akhmadaliev, who's stronger, faster, and more seasoned, will be an even nastier problem. He explained MJ has fought every style you can imagine: pressure fighters, counter punchers, slick movers, and power hitters. That wide experience sharpened his adaptability and ring IQ. Diaz called him one of the most complete fighters today, not just because of physical gifts, but because of his seasoned brain in the ring. For Inoue, who thrives on timing and precision, Diaz warned MJ's depth and experience will be a nightmare puzzle. The message was blunt. Akhmadaliev isn't just another contender. He's a legit threat to the pound-for-pound king.
You just mentioned earlier MJ has that fight in Mexico. It's looking like a stay busy kind of fight. We've heard that the fight with Inoue is official. Is it confirmed?
Well, they said it is. I don't know. I mean, they already announced it. They said it's September 14th. So.
And now I see MJ and Ramon, good buddies. There's animosity there.
Yeah.
They're always motivating each other. Half the time they don't talk really about common opponents. They're just they're just treating the shit the way they say it. What has MJ said about that fight, and how does he feel about his chances?
Look, you're talking about 2 different fighters. Ramon is totally different from MJ. MJ is lefty. Ramon is righty. Ramon is a smaller than MJ. MJ is a bigger, solid, more solid fighter with more technique. He was an Olympian. Remember, MJ has fought every style around the world because he was an Olympian. He was a silver medalist, bronze medalist, whatever. He's fought the best of the best in the world. That's why MJ has a better chance than Ramon. The only difference between us and MJ is the language barrier. To talk to him the way I can talk to a Mexican fighter that grew up with me, to motivate him in my language is different than just saying davai, the rabota, like work, No, it's different. So that's the only issue, the only factor that we're gonna have to work around. But I just think that MJ, it's faster. He is really hard as well. His timing and his experience.
Okay. And of course, MJ, again, Ramon, you guys have one of the deepest stables in boxing. Obviously, the boys have talked about it. If one of them gets a title, they'll serve it up.
No, they talked before. It's like, for example, they said before the fight, Ramon said it. If I win this fight, if I beat Inoue, I will not fight MJ. I will not fight. I will not fight a stablemate. You know, he's my friend. He's my team. He says we would talk about it if it's beneficial for both.
Matchroom's Frank Smith hyped the fight as the biggest moment of MJ's career. He underlined MJ's knockout power, pointing to his recent performances where his punches carried serious danger. Smith said this fight isn't just MJ's biggest payday. It's his chance to shake up the super bantamweight division. A win would make him a global star overnight and cement a legacy fighter's dream about. Smith insisted the timing is perfect. MJ is in his prime, locked in, and ready to shock the sport against the most celebrated small-weight champion alive.
Naoya Inoue as well gets that win and sets up with an absolute mega fight with Naoya Inoue in September as well.
Yeah, 100%. Look, he was very cautious in there. As you can imagine, he's got a lot riding on it. 14 weeks until the Inoue fight. I think September 15th is the date for that in Japan. A fight he's waited a long time for, been very patient for, you know, and I think been more than, given more than enough time for Inoue to do the other things he's wanted to do. But yeah, he finally gets his opportunity to become undisputed. You know, he was unlucky in that fight against Tapales a few years ago now to lose his belts, and would have got the Inoue shot a lot sooner. I think we saw in the last Inoue fight he can be vulnerable, he can be hurt, he can be put down, and MJ's a big puncher. I don't think you can judge much off of the performance of last week from MJ because it was sort of cautious, and he was just going in there to get the win, get some rounds ahead of the biggest fight of his career. It's going to be a spectacular occasion come September.
Observers agree Murodjon Akhmadaliev is one of Inoue's toughest tests yet. Unlike past opponents who walked into the ring already beaten, MJ comes with confidence, skills, and a resume to back it up. His mix of strength, technique, and determination makes him a complete package. Add his southpaw stance, and the puzzle only gets trickier. Analysts stress that even though Inoue has been dominant, he hasn't seen many fighters with MJ's unique blend of attributes.
So Naoya Inoue's next fight with Murodjon Akhmadaliev has been announced for September 14th, so same weekend as Canelo Crawford in Nagoya, Japan. Now Akhmadaliev, he's a solid test. Crafty southpaw, can move his feet well, he can dig to the body, exchange on the inside. He's got decent combination punching, very durable. This will be one of Inoue's tougher fights at 122. Although definitely not the toughest fight of his career like they're promoting. I would say Donaire won. But MJ can definitely box. And Inoue, he can sometimes start slower against southpaws, like the Neri fight, even the first 2 or 3 rounds against Doheny. But I do think his power will eventually take over in this one. Akhmadaliev does get into exchanges. Inoue's right hand, his body shots start to land. So I can see Inoue getting a late stoppage in this one. Now, Inoue is supposed to have 4 fights this year, and Turkey is also finalizing him versus Alan Picasso for a Saudi card in December. And I think that card is supposed to have a Japanese fighters versus Mexican fighters theme. But Inoue, very active on a great stretch right now. Cardenas, MJ, Picasso, and then obviously the big one with Junto Nakatani next year.
The fight is set for Japan, landing the same week as the blockbuster Canelo Alvarez vs. Terence Crawford event. While that mega bout steals the headlines, fans are buzzing just as much for Inoue vs. Akhmadaliev because it's 2 of the best at 122 colliding. Hosting it in Japan only amps it up. Inoue is a superstar at home, which means MJ will be stepping into a charged arena. With both fights happening back-to-back, boxing is in a golden stretch, giving fans elite matchups one after another.
It looks like the monster Naoya Inoue has confirmed the location for the super fight between himself versus Murodjon Akhmadaliev for the undisputed super bantamweight title. The monster recently posted this stating, quote, "The Nagoya showdown is now set." If you don't know, Nagoya is a city in Japan, and this more or less confirms that the super fight between both men will be set in Nagoya, Japan. Now we've got the location for it, the next question is, when's the actual date for it all? And I might just have the answer for this. Doing a little bit of detective work, it looks like the date for this showdown will be on September the 14th. MJ looked calm and relaxed against Castillo, and to be honest with you, he didn't really have to get out of gear 1. Against the monster Naoya Inoue, he's gotta have to be in his optimum best to stand any chance of getting the victory. As for Naoya Inoue, we know he's gonna put on a world-class performance, especially in front of his home country of Japan. Guys, as a boxing fan, I'm so excited for this matchup. Like I said before in the past, this is one of the fights I've always wanted to see Naoya Inoue get tested on, and we're about to get it in September. Guys, what's your thoughts about all this news? And when these two do collide in September, who do you have winning and how? Let me know.